How exciting.
There you go.
And we're back. Welcome to Steamboat Comedy Podcast. Those of you in Steamboat and our worldwide listeners, I am Kendra Ruth. I will be the host this evening. What up, y'all? Next to me is the lovely Brittany Kohler. Ayo! Say what up to the people.
What up, what up? How you doing?
And then we have Kalynn. Last name? I forgot.
It's Smith. It's really
Kalynn Smith. Jesus Christ, Kendra.
It's terrible.
Too many milk duds. I'm already 3 deep. Dan's going to yell at me. And then we have the lovely Danny Garcia here as well, sitting across from me. I love looking at her beautiful face.
Hola.
And we're doing a little ladies takeover tonight.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
Night before Halloween. We're all feeling pretty witchy. I think it's good.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I think she just screamed.
I did a minute ago. It's fine.
A little bit. Just the thought of like bloodshed and full moons, black cats really gets me going. My nipples are definitely hard right now. It's magic. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom.
Padded bra and all.
Well, what we're going to be talking about tonight is we're doing a little interview for our lady comedians. Brittany will kind of be hosting that. And then, she's just great at asking questions and
I'm nosy.
Interrogating.
And she's, mostly interrogating. Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I was going for.
Curious.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about some bullshit I don't really know. How you doing today, Brittany?
I'm fantastic. The house is clean. I did a facial today. I'm feeling
yeah.
great. I even painted my own nails.
Self-care, girl. Self-care. Love that. Brittany, if you guys don't know her, for our worldwide listeners, says everyone in Steamboat knows her. Am I right or am I right?
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's good. Brittany is actually the founder of Steamboat Comedy. She was the person who really rallied the troops and got the original 6 of us. It was me. The first night at Dude and Dance.
Yeah.
Describe it to us.
Well, and I don't want to take the credit for being a founder. Somebody else, Dominic, actually, you guys, he's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's been up on stage. He came to me a while back. January, I guess.
Jangus.
Jangus, it was January. Dagnabbit.
And the good old Jangus, in the middle of Jangus, he came up to me.
Oh my God, that's such a good nickname for him. He looks like a Jangus.
He does look like a Jangus. Let's just start calling him that.
So he came to me and he said, "Hey, I got this idea. You know people, do your networking thing. Let's see what can happen." So I said, "Yeah, for sure. Meet me at the bar."
Duh.
Right? And so we sat there and we talked about it. While we were talking, I just made a post on Facebook. I'm a social media nut. My background is communications, community relations, public affairs, whatever. And so I made this post, and right away, people were just commenting. I had 61 comments within 24 hours. And I didn't realize, I guess.
I haven't seen 61 motherfuckers up on stage yet, huh?
Right,
Yeah.
right. But a lot of it was tagging other people, and that's how you ended up getting.
Yep. Good
getting on
old
board.
X. Thanks,
Yep.
Tate.
And I guess I just didn't really realize. Everybody likes to be funny. Everybody, you sit around. That's what you do when you're always cracking jokes. It comes along with the whole atmosphere, especially in a community like this. But I didn't realize that people would actually be interested in going up on stage and doing stand-up comedy, because that sounds like I want to puke already. And
I wish we had a soundboard really bad.
Yes.
Just like a.
So yeah,
We needed that for
once
Halloween.
the idea got out there was a core select few that were super serious. Well, we didn't know how super serious about it it was. Quit
the
mimicking
beginning.
me.
Mimicking me, being I don't know what the fuck. Me and Brittany are basically Tweedledee and Tweedledum. We're just reckless, curly-headed fucks.
So from there, we all met up at Dude and Dan's, and we had this core meeting to where we had a little bit of notes and ideas and what we could possibly where we could go with it, and we kind of just winged it from there.
Totally.
I was gonna say wung it.
Wong it.
Winged it? Winged it. Winged it.
All right, and then it was Bra House.
Yep.
Open mics. After a couple of those, I got confident and was like, "Let's book OTP," and
Nailed it.
yeah, Yeah, we nailed
Nailed it.
Yeah, we
Nailed
yeah.
the first one.
Nailed the first one. But then it was kind of just feeling it out from there. And I am so glad to be a part of it. I haven't technically gone up on stage to do a whole bit, but I, helped with the hosting and a lot of logistical work and the advertising and stuff like that. And
You got it off the grounds,
Yeah,
girl.
and it's really just snowballed and turned into
Yeah, it
something
really has.
incredible.
I mean, that's the hardest part, doing all of that organizing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first, especially being the first ones to do it. You know what I mean? You
Actually
you
pulling the
being
trigger and
okay,
doing it.
well, you have a background in this stuff, so
Yeah.
it was came pretty easy to you as far as knowing how to get the ball rolling, especially with advertising and shit, and just getting the word out. You good at word of mouth.
You're
Word at
good
mouth.
at
Yeah.
mouth.
The mouth word things. You're very good.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but it's really you guys that have taken it to a whole other level. I kind of stepped aside this summer and I jumped into sports and other things that I should have probably been more involved, and I'm glad that I'm getting back into it.
Me too.
But what you guys have done with it is absolutely amazing.
Fucking rock and roll, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I want to ask you, Kendra.
All right.
When this idea first came about, I know that you have always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Did you ever really think that you would have the opportunity to do so?
Never.
No.
No. It's funny because when I went home this past month, I was looking through all my yearbooks, and literally every single yearbook since I was in elementary school, one or two teachers say, I can't wait to see you on Saturday Night Live one day.
Oh,
It's always been a thing. I was always the class clown. I never knew if I wanted to do stand-up comedy, but I knew I always wanted to be a comedian. That was always the main thing. It's what do you want to be when you grow up? Professional basketball player, a meteorologist, or on Saturday Night Live. Those are my only three options. So, and I'm a bartender, so I'm killing it right now. Currently killing it. Yeah. What made you want to start doing stand-up comedy, Kalynn?
Oh God.
I'm throwing it across the table.
I appreciate that. I'll catch it. I'll throw it right back to you. So for me, I think stand-up comedy was ultimately just a huge surprise. Mike DeNova kind of just tricked me into doing it. But I think originally what got me into comedy in general was the Chief and Cabaret, which is a really different route than what a lot of you guys took. And it's funny because even though the Chief is supposed to be the professional theater, I have to say I'm pretty sure that Steamboat comedy is more organized. I mean,
Well, thanks.
I love the Chief, but you guys really crush it. And ultimately I think that it just provides an awesome way to just vent. That was really what I found about stand up that I appreciated the most, because I have a lot of fucking shit to bitch about.
Well, that's something I remember from your first set is talking about the double or the triple star moms, or the fucking purple fucking star moms, whatever the fucking
the Triple Crown.
Triple Crown.
Triple Crown.
Their names are, I hated them. We all
Baseball.
hated them.
I love
No, that was one of my favorite bits. That's the first bit you did. It's talking about murdering them, basically, or along those lines. It was just hilarious and super relatable, especially in our small town. But it's venting. It's we need to get it out. A lot of my stuff is about dating because.
Well,
It's a therapy session.
Explanatory, self-explanatory.
It's a therapy session.
It's not as bad if it's funny. So that's kind of the direction I took from that
Exactly.
one.
Also, I kind of find thinking about these ideas and thinking about these things and writing down notes, it's almost therapy. Not just getting it all out on stage, but getting it out on paper, getting it out when you're in the shower and you're thinking about it and you're oh, and then you can dig deeper into it.
And now, Danny, I already know the question to this because I literally forced you to go up there because I was been the only girl for so long. I was somebody please join me.
Yeah.
But what made you want to start doing stand-up comedy?
Well, I mean, so I've always done kind of communications. I was voted most likely to host a talk show in high school.
Naturally.
And
Dream
so,
job.
and I was so excited when I heard you doing it. And so I was always at all the shows. That's
Yep.
what done me the
You were a number one fan.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that night, I went there and you're you're going to go up, right? I'm oh yeah, sure. And then you wrote me down and then I got called and I stood up there. I'm oh shit, I actually have to be funny now. And so I just came up with something and luckily people laughed at me. I'm all right, I think I can maybe do this because my life's a joke. So I just have to tell you about my life. And then I don't have to cry about it at night. We can just laugh about it together.
Cool. So my question is after the first time, I know for a lot of people, it's scary as hell to go up there.
Oh, I was so nervous.
After that, though, does it get easier?
No. It doesn't.
No, it never
I
gets easier.
completely black out when I'm up there. And I don't know how anything goes. And then afterwards, I'm always asking people, I'm like, how was it? Like, oh, it was great. And then when I finally listened to one of the recordings, I realized how well enunciated everything was and how clear spoken everything was, and listening to people laugh. But when you're up there, you don't hear any of that laughter. You have no idea. I just black out the whole time.
So what advice
Same.
would you have to give to other people that are thinking about it? Do you think that they should go the same route as you, is come to the comedy clubs or come to the shows and check it out and kind of just...
I say definitely try it. I mean, there's no harm in it. And it's like once you get up there, your body kind of all those endorphins like force you to do it. And you just feed off of the audience and everything else, and everyone there is pretty supportive. And
Totally.
it's definitely, I'm so happy that I've done it. And now like that I
Especially-
keep going up, I'm actually writing down material and trying to come up with jokes and like figure out how to get things full circle and make it to like come together.
Good old full circle.
But it works. It's funny. It works. Like it's a formula when you get it.
Definitely.
To do that. But
It's definitely a craft.
it's rewarding though, because then people are like, you're a badass. Like you have so much guts. I could never do that. And you're like, well, you could, but yeah, I am cooler than you. So thanks.
Yeah. Hell yeah, you are, Danny.
Danny, I can't believe that you just like winged it. That's like crazy to me.
The first-
Right?
like-
That's psycho to me.
First
I know, I'm like,
2
I've-
or 3 times that I did it was completely wronged.
I will have to say that after going to Denver last week and seeing the open mic scene there, I am literally so fucking happy that we have the community that we do,
And we
and like
live
so
where we
supportive,
do.
because like as soon as they heard we were from out of town, they turned their backs to us and started talking.
Bro.
It was like really, and like granted, I was like a couple martinis in and I should not have been going up on stage. I literally couldn't remember a single joke I'd ever written. I had a full bomb. It was great. I didn't even care, because those people, I don't give a shit.
I think that that's what makes this comedy club unique.
Totally.
And,
It's the amount of support, because it's really
exactly.
competitive in the bigger cities, and we actually have, I mean, we do workshops in the garage and help each other work through jokes, and like people in big cities literally don't have that. Like
No.
it's so like cutthroat and competitive, and like everyone's just
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody that's in the comedy club too, we're always out and about, running around, talking about it. You can't go anywhere without somebody asking when the next show is or
Totally.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Rather
Even
than people
tonight,
turning
I
their
got that.
backs.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people they anticipate the next show.
I had
Which
a
is awesome.
probation officer ask me when the next time I was doing stand-up was.
That's the audience we
I
want.
was like, how did you find out?
That's what I'm
about
talking about. I actually think I lost some regulars because they came to my
Oh no.
they were like, you're the nasty bartender, huh? Or like the freaky bartender or something like that, because I was like,
I'm the
that's
lime
when-
cum bartender.
yeah, you are the lime cum bartender. But that's when I did my bit on being a stand-up comedian stripper, like the
Yes,
first ever
the first one.
one in the world. It's still
Glorious.
probably like my dream job. It's fine.
Stand-up comedian stripper.
You weren't at that butcher knife show, but
I could totally see it though.
shit, that was like
I lost my shit at that show. People recognized me by my laugh.
well
From that
yes,
show.
Of course, it's so good. You have the best laugh. Let the beast unleash, Danny.
Let's talk about vaginas.
Oh, mine is fucking with me right now, man. I was in bed all day yesterday, and like not fucking with me in a good day. There will be blood.
There will be blood.
I
This
meant
is a
more like-
feminist comedy podcast.
That's the title.
Fine. Kyle's gonna love this. Oh my god, I'm like so happy right now.
I meant more like women in comedy.
Yeah, I know. I'm just Kendra.
Not your actual
Kendra.
devil of a vagina.
Like such a different
It's
viewpoint.
Are you
I
the
feel
freaky bartender I've heard so much about?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, I sure am.
Especially when it comes to like dating in Steamboat, I feel like women have such a different viewpoint, and it's comical than
Oh, it's
a bunch of the
comical.
guys. So like you need that
Genuinely hilarious.
those kind of jokes worked into those sets.
Yeah. So, women in comedy. This is something I was talking to Brittany. She's like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, well, I want to do like a little like talking about like how we all got started into comedy, whatever. But then I also want to talk about women in comedy because it's just recently that we're starting to see a lot of female comedians. And it's fucking badass. I watched Jenny Slate the other night, and
Yeah.
that shit was amazing. Literally how I feel, stage fright. Like that, like everything that she was saying, and like just I just love her so much. It was amazing. But like starting to like her, like Whitney Cummings, her Netflix special was fucking amazing. Like
Eliza has a bunch on there.
She's like one of the OG like girls who like really started to get into it. And it's just really incredible that that's starting to be, because we're a male dominated group. We're also a male dominated town. So that's another thing to look at. But also like, well, actually in Denver, there's quite a few female comedians that went up, which I was like really excited about. So it was like,
were they like good? Like,
yeah, they did a great job. They had a great set. I was so intimidated. I was like, oh shit, I know nothing. Which I know nothing. But it was just really cool. And I think that, I don't know. Brittany had mentioned to me, she goes, Kendra, do you realize that if you never got up there, I don't know if any other woman like would have.
I feel like we probably would have found some, but I definitely mentioned that I'm happy that you took the reins on being the kind of the staple female in the comedy club, and it kind of gives it kind of gives other females, you know, more of the confidence, I guess you could say, to go up there, and then you're like, you'll got it, you'll kill it, you'll do this, you'll do that, and look at you guys. I mean, you have.
Well, and it's just easier to see yourself up there if you're just like, okay, like this girl can do it and like can get up there and slay, especially because, you know, it's 2019. Women are smart and funny now, guys. Like it's
Hell
it's a whole thing.
And sexy.
Get ready.
But yeah, no, so I don't know. I super appreciate that because that was like probably the most welcoming thing. If it had just been Mike DeNova being like, come on, I don't know that I would have done it. Although,
and I remember you approaching me too and having that conversation with me, how you saw me go up.
Dude,
and that inspired you to go up, and I was so stoked. That made me so happy.
And then there was that one girl that was like wore all black and like had like a really monotone delivery that like
Jenna, she's
killed
amazing.
me.
Actually, she was here.
Where's Jenna?
Jenna, where are you? I love her.
I know she crushed it too. I was like I saw the powerhouse of Women Day my first time going to see the show, and I was like, okay, all right, I see you.
Well, we typically talk about the future of the comedy club and where we see it going. Do you guys think that we could do an all-female comedy show?
Fucking love to do an all-female comedy show. I would like to bring in like 2 comics from Denver or something for an all-female comedy show. Maybe during, I don't know, what month?
Valentine's? No, we already got our Valentine's Day lined up.
Yeah, Desperation Day. You can't really, like, that's just so good. That was so good.
That was such a good show.
I don't know. We'll see, but I 100% would love to have an all-female comedy show. That would be awesome. And just to bring, and also to bring in, because we have 2 male comics coming in for November 29th at Schmiggity's. $5 suggested donation is going to be our winter welcome show. Little plug there. It's going to be awesome. That's going to be our first show since our last Butcher Knife show, which is awesome. And you can catch clips of that on YouTube. It's a really, really great show. We brought in Mark Masters and Pat Truer, and it was amazing. And I'm really excited to bring Mark Masters back for this upcoming show, and Corey David of Denver. It's going to be a badass show. Get there. I think it's 8 o'clock. Schmiggity's. $5 suggested donation. It's gonna sell out, so get there early and get your seats. We're gonna set it up like a real comedy club. It's gonna be amazing.
I think that one will be exciting too, because that's when a lot of new people are going to be coming into town that haven't seen the comedy club, and maybe we'll get some new comedians.
That's what I'm hoping for. I want to like spark the interest and get those like open mics popping. Get in here. Speaking of open mics, I'm also gonna do another little plug. We got open mic at Bra House starting November 12th on Wednesdays. That is gonna be awesome. That's going to be starting at 8 o'clock for our Mountainside people. And then following also every other week, every other Tuesday, as always, at the Barley, 8:30. Come on. We got some new people here. I'm really excited about some new people coming into Steamboat. Hopefully some more lady comics. Anyways, enough with the plugs. Kalynn, where do you see yourself going with comedy? Like, is this something you want to like continue doing with stand-up? Is this just another creative outlet for you? Like, what does it mean for you?
Honestly, I would love to keep going with it, but it's kind of one of those things where I've never even allowed myself to like think about that as like a sustainable option. You know, I've worked service industry. I was a raft guide for a long time, which is a joke, I guess.
Yeah. But also you get a lot of jokes from that. That's like all this life experience.
Oh yeah, no, it was pretty amazing, just like experiences, honestly. But
that's another male dominant.
Damn straight.
Oh hell yeah, it is. I mean, no matter how good of a raft guide you are, you're not going to compete with the dude with like a beard that's 2 feet long and looks like he just got his 3rd DUI. You know,
I just
nailed it.
Painting a picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, this has been super awesome and ultimately something that like I just want to be a part of in this scenario, because that's the one thing, like, I have so much respect for you guys going to Denver and like going out into a more unwelcome environment, because
Stay here as long as you can.
Right. You are trapped.
Stay as long as you can.
And that's
I want to go to high school, Billy. Sorry. Stay as long as you can.
Truly though, like I've seen, I mean, I have for the most part seen really amazing comics come through open mic, but there is always like 1 or 2 that just kind of come in for like a one-time thing, and it's kind of like karaoke, you know, where like you're just like, well, if that guy is here,
I can go up.
I can definitely go up. But even when somebody's bombing, like this audience is so nice up here that they'll just like literally just clap you through it, and it's kind of awesome to see. So
we're spoiled for sure. We're spoiled.
We are spoiled.
We're
yes,
so
absolutely. But I think that we wouldn't know that if you guys didn't go out of town and do those things.
Totally.
And it's cool that you guys have even gone to Chicago and like stuff like that. We haven't even had this
Seattle
comedy club for a year yet, and
know.
we're already going places. Look at us.
All the places you'll
we
go.
need to have a year anniversary party.
Absolutely.
Do we
Oh my
not? Like,
gosh.
when was
Yeah.
our first open mic at Brajos? February. We'll have to.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back. Yeah.
We'll have
And
to
I think
do
that it's going to be more and more, the more opportunities and showings that you have other places, it gives you more experience, it gives you a better outlook, and you meet more people, you learn more things, and all you can do is bring that back to our humble little town
Hell
and
yeah.
share it.
Hell yeah. What about you, Danny? Is this like a fun hobby? Do you see this going anywhere? I mean, you're really great at talking in front of people.
Well,
Anyways,
yes.
it's our job.
That's the
Thanks.
bartender.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like right now I'm kind of burnt out just with work and everything, so I've kind of been taking a break. But I feel like with the new winter season starting, there's like that whole tourist crowd coming in, and that's just a gold pot of like new material
100%.
that I'm just so excited to like stir up and like dish out.
Hell yeah.
So I feel like that will like be the inspiration that I need to kind of come up with new stuff. So I do want to keep on with it throughout the winter, even though I work
Totally.
ridiculous hours.
Yeah.
Same, girl.
But
it'll be a good
work hard,
outlet,
play hard.
though. That's like therapy.
it is therapy. That's why, like that one session, I literally pulled the couch from
I
the
know.
wall and I
You're like, I'm
laid
tired
down.
today.
I'm like,
really?
Yeah,
it's
it was
been a day.
amazing.
I literally, it's so awkward too, and it screeched across the floor.
Yes.
And I just laid down. I'm like, okay, this is better. This is how I'm doing my set. How we doing?
It was amazing.
Because it's therapy.
It was amazing. I
Especially
loved
like
it.
in our profession when you deal with people all the time, and sometimes people don't really understand
Totally.
how the service industry works. But if you make it a joke, it's
Everyone will
rewarding. It
can
pays off.
relate.
It's so great.
Absolutely. And I've also found that working in the restaurant industry and being involved in the comedy club, it gives you something to talk about with your guests at work too. And
Yeah.
not only that, it's good advertising. And then you get to kind of gloat about yourself a little bit about, being part of something in town.
The thing that I hate the most, but I'm starting to not hate it anymore because I'm working on it, is having a back pocket joke.
Yeah.
Because people are always like, well,
tell me something funny.
Tell me a
Oh,
joke.
God.
I had someone
Your
do that at
face.
work.
How
And I'm
about
like,
that?
you got to pay money for that.
Well, I always say my jokes aren't appropriate for work, which everyone here knows is not appropriate for work. Nothing I say is appropriate for work at all, ever.
Or anytime.
Or really anytime.
Beat them to it. I'm at the bar and I'm like, I'm bored. Somebody tell me a joke.
Yeah.
And then you get to hear like all the crazy ass
True
shit that
that.
comes out
at
of
a
their
wedding
mouths.
and someone's
Dude.
giving out popcorn and they're like, it's one joke for one bag of popcorn. And I'm like, I got jokes all day, motherfucker.
I used to tell jokes for grilled cheeses when I was like tripping at 5 a.m. at music festivals. That was like my go-to. So I think that's where my comedian career really started.
Our career's taking us.
That's where it started, but also where it's going.
Yeah, and also where it's going. I'm gonna start my own YouTube channel of me just like toast out at like 5 a.m. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this, because I know you're gonna
turn into that lizard guy in the closet. What is that?
Oh man.
All right, so wait. What is your back pocket joke then? Like,
I don't have one. I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
You gotta have just a buttload of them.
What I was gonna go to with this is, how do you guys combat or like deal with creative lulls? Because I was having one over the past couple months. Like I was having a really hard time coming up with shit.
Do you think that like being around comedy and writing your jokes and stuff, that it kind of becomes an everyday thing and things don't seem as funny to you anymore because you're so used to things being funny?
Yeah.
I do think that comics lose their sense of humor after a while, mostly because the first year I moved to Colorado, I moved to Telluride, and my friend got fired by Jerry Seinfeld while he was working at a restaurant there. So if you want to hear like a horror story for like a server out there, this dude was working at one of like the really nice high-end restaurants in Telluride, so like bougie as all hell.
Yeah.
And Jerry Seinfeld comes in and like is just sitting there with like a platinum pass, like you can get any food on the mountain for free and all this crazy shit. And he like goes up and orders from this guy, and he just orders the soup. So of course this dude's just like, no soup for you. No. And he got DNR'd. Like they were like,
Seinfeld didn't like it?
yeah, he like issued this huge complaint and made a huge deal out of it, and the server got fired.
That's fucked up.
Dude, it is fucked up.
How you about to order soup, being Jerry Seinfeld, and
You
like
know-
get mad about it?
you know what's
You
gonna
know
happen.
What's gonna happen?
Also, don't
He
ever
probably does that
Jerry, if you
everywhere.
listen to this,
don't ever lose
come
the
get
humor.
some soup from me
Like,
at my restaurant.
That's the point.
weeks later, I like ran into this kid finally after he had gotten fired on the gondola, and I was just like, Eric, like, I'm so sorry, dude. I heard that what happened. Like, that's fucking hilarious, though. I was like, do you regret it? He was like, nah, man, I can get another job, but I can only tell Jerry Seinfeld he gets no soup like once in my life.
So true.
That's great.
So true. Yeah, I feel like when I have the pressure to like write things down, I'm like, what am I writing down? But like when I have like the themes that we were doing was really good in the beginning. Like that was a really great idea when we would do Desperation Day or like St. Patty's Day and like talk about drinking stories or love or whatever. And then like trying to find my voice in between all of like the non-theme things in the open mic, it's like really difficult. Because I really only care about two things, and that's dicks and astrology. So it's like, it's only so many times. You know?
What I kind of noticed,
Just combine
there?
it together.
what I've kind of noticed is you're creative, you're a good writer, and I think that what makes things funny sometimes, if you can't find anything that's actually funny, is making something that's everyday life, like brushing your teeth or walking the dog. When I walk my dog, I get so mad, and then some things are so funny, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, why is this such a big deal? I do this 10 times a day. And I feel like that's my next bit. Or, you know, getting mad about not charging my toothbrush and I left it in the shower, or being hungover and throwing up in the shower because that's where I brush my teeth. And like all these things that are everyday things that you endure, and then why they're funny.
And then that makes it relatable.
That's what I think is like the funniest, dry, like everyday sense of humor that's super relatable. And it's like, I never thought of that as funny before. Like Mark Masters did his bit about the dragonflies flying into windshields, and like it was just so fucking funny. And I was like, how did you make dragonflies getting murdered on windshields like hilarious that I like couldn't even breathe? Just simple things like that. So I don't know. I think it's the part of the craft, I guess, and like learning how to.
Comedy is challenging you.
It is.
Dominated.
It is.
Somebody told me once that like a joker, what a joker says is funny, whereas like a comic just says things in a funny way. Like it's like how they say things.
Totally.
And like there are definitely people like even in the like in our like comedy group that just like will say just like completely fucking normal things like trees have leaves, and I'll just be like, oh my God, it's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, totally.
you
Totally.
just
It's all about
killed it.
delivery. It's all about
Good
delivery.
presentation.
If you had to, I'm going to start wrapping this up here. If you had to pick one thing that you wanted to like work on in your comedy, what would it be? And Brittany,
Okay.
hold on. What are you gonna do an open mic?
I
You got it.
I definitely am gonna do an open mic, and I think that from there I'll see where it goes.
So for you, that would be starting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you would want to work on is
Yeah.
starting.
Well, and not just that, but not drinking as much before
Moderation.
before going on stage, because like I said,
hard.
I want a drink to calm my nerves, and then I'm like, wait, okay, that wasn't enough, and then when I was hosting, it was like I had to stay.
It's terrifying.
I'm not just building up to 5 minutes. I was like on stage the whole time. So, halfway through the show, I'm like, not on my game. I think like I just did, because when I was going through broadcasting classes in the Marine Corps and stuff, one of the things that I do is I talk too fast. I have what they call a glottal fry, which is where I just did it. You accentuate.
I heard it. Yeah.
You accentuate the last vowel of your sentence. It's the Paris Hilton syndrome. So I kind of like don't want to sound like that. And saying too
Why
much.
not?
And.
Yeah.
Like I do that so often, and I don't really realize it until I hear myself coming back, playing it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are my things. I need to slow down. I need to.
Those are your things.
Those are my things. I need to slow down. I need to stop at my sentences and stop saying and
And start.
and start.
That's a good place to start. What about you, Kalynn?
Oh my God, I laugh at my own jokes all the time.
I love that.
I love that. I think it's a good part of
think
your.
it's great.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's charming.
Have you ever seen Drew Lynch?
Actually, I'm not sure that I have.
He's a comedian and he has a stutter, but he has gone better like over time. But
Are you comparing this to a
no, but he laughs at his own jokes, and he'll go to the back of the stage and start hitting the brick wall, and it just makes you want to laugh even more.
Yeah,
and
I
used
agree.
to, like, he was on America's Got Talent, and judges would like criticize him on doing that, but I love it. It's like my favorite part of all of his
Just
bits.
like on SNL, whenever they start.
He just,
Oh,
when
yeah,
you
that
start
part when they,
breaking.
like, break.
Oh.
Yeah, the break
I
is the
love
best
it.
part.
Breaking.
I do know you're funny.
Oh, see, I'm entertained, and I think it's
That's
more of
what's
a
important.
nervous thing, but I think it's also just that you can't hear shit when you're up there, especially at the Barley, because all you can hear is the bar. And like you'll listen to stuff like if somebody records you later and be like, oh,
You can
people
barely hear yourself.
Oh, hey-o.
How long was that your actual back pocket joke?
I'm getting a thumb down from Jay. The studio audience. Sorry, everyone.
But yeah, that's my thing. I'm trying to do that and just maybe just like let things linger a little bit longer, because I want to like I just like want to get more of that like dead tone, deadpan kind of vibe going.
Totally.
Watch me not laugh at it.
What about you, Danielle?
Are you my mother? I feel like I tend to tell just like long stories, like one big story with jokes in between. So I need to work on like getting to
The
the punchline quicker.
yeah.
Just like that,
The
right
recipe.
there.
The recipe.
I was pausing for effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting to the punchline quicker and keeping the audience like on board with me and laughing the whole time.
I think that's good feedback for yourself.
Yeah.
What about
else
you,
would
Kendra
say?
Ruthless?
Just not be so afraid. God damn
Get
it.
out of here.
I'm so fucking terrified every time I go up there. I don't know what it is. And I have gotten more nervous because I feel like there is an expectation
That's
of
what I
me
was gonna
because I
say.
did well my first couple months, and then now I not doing as well, but like also like coming up with new jokes is so fucking hard as well. And then I'm nervous to like rework my jokes because I'm really afraid that people are going to be like, oh, we already heard this joke before. And so mine is just not being more confident in like, if the joke doesn't go over, it's not the end of the world. You know
Amen,
what
sister.
I mean? And like I'm just such a perfectionist. And
That's
so
exactly what I was gonna say. So
that's-
what I know about you, you're
yeah.
a perfectionist, but you're also confident as hell.
Yeah.
So use
It's
those.
weird. They
use
just don't
those,
hang
and
out
you've
sometimes.
got it.
It's like, oh, you have this and you have this, but they're not going to be friends. I don't know what to tell you. Any closing words, ladies?
I'm really excited to see you do stand-up, Brittany.
Yeah. You heard it here first, folks. Brittany Kohler is going to be doing stand-up sometime soon.
Now I gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
people are
haven't
gonna
seen
call
me
you
go
out.
up.
My nipples just got hard again.
Oh God, full
Same.
circle.
I think we're just like vibing over here. Brittany.
How you doing?
Well, thank you all for joining in this evening for Steamboat Comedy Podcast. Once again, a little reminder, open mics are every other week at the Barley on Tuesdays starting at 8:30. And starting November 12th, we will be having open mics at Bra House, 8 o'clock. It's going to be so fun. All you Mountainside people, also in-town people, you are more than welcome too. You don't just have to go to the Barley. You can also come to Bra House. We'd love to see you there. And then Schmiggities, November 29th, 8 o'clock. We got Corey David, Mark Masters, and your favorite local Steamboat comedy comedians. And thanks for tuning in. And
Ta-ta for now.
ta-ta for now.
Ta-tas.
Bye.
Ta-ta.
Adios.